Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And we have gone full-blown dessert show now. We don't do anything worth a damn here.
What do you mean?
This was the best show.
I feel like it is because we help you forget your problems, but I just want to remind everybody that we are all over the place crazy-mo.
That's
And
true.
lately,
Yes.
I've been double crazy-mo because I am now officially sponsored by Mountain Dew Rise Energy, and this is the third I've had today, and wowie!
What's your favorite flavor so
I
far?
like this pomegranate blue burst.
What is the mascot?
It's a lion, and I'm going to eat your face off.
Is that a...
It's a
like
polygon lion. Well, our guest can. What kind of a? That's more like a shape.
It's a straight up. Yeah, that's a griffin.
A griffin.
Okay.
It's a griffin.
Yes. A stone griffin.
Yeah,
The
did you
future
know-
griffin.
Yeah, Eddie Griffin. Did you know you? Did
Peter
you,
Griffin.
Yeah, Peter. That reminds me of the time I drank too much Rise Energy.
So, before we introduce our guest, so you could sit here and listen to the feedback and
Are you gonna do that to him?
He's not a ear artist. He's eye. He's stick to drawing, Pabon.
Oh, man. He's got a podcast.
Well, I got a podcast. I don't know what I'm doing either.
That's true.
So anyway, we've had this problem, and I think everybody's had this problem throughout the pandemic. Well, because people are getting adjusted to technology and to Zoom and to all FaceTime, teleconferencing, or whatever.
Yeah, it's
and,
just
and
it's the new thing we do.
and we've seen this dozens of times, and even in meetings now, I've seen it where.
Well, and you got the judge who's talking to the old man who turned on the cat filter. And he's like, "I assure you, I'm not a cat." And everybody's laughing. Then you got the guy who pulls his ding dong out in the middle of the meeting. Then that guy goes to HR. He's like the vice president, the COO. He's fired.
What was the report? Some reporter did that.
Yeah, there's
some
reporters
newspaper.
that do that. Then there's multiple kids that walk into frame. Then there's
Yeah.
the dude that thought it was okay to take a deuce during the meeting.
Your big mama comes in. She's in the background.
My mom comes in. She got a nightgown with no bra on. Those things are swinging like she's tied 2 bowling pins under her nightshirt. They're just whacking the Garfield all around the shirt.
So in all these events, one person's always
Old
muted.
man leaves it on while he's going pee-pee. One little drop comes out.
And it's always the beginning of all these is a person just looking down, and just their eyes darting back and forth for a long time.
For an uncomfortable, for like 10 minutes.
I'm like, what are you looking? You're not looking at a maze, a digital maze.
You're not looking at a clump of, you're not looking at a clump of wires.
What I'm doing over here.
The's 2 buttons and a volume
here's
button.
another thing: is the audio quality
What are you looking at?
and the talking over ability of this is fantastic. Makes it great.
Yeah.
Tom's right. You're not looking into a bin of wires, and you got to get all the yellow ones to one side and all the blue wires to one
There's
side.
2 buttons.
Yeah.
There's a microphone button, a volume up and down,
And they're
scroll.
color coded. The one that I only have 2 buttons. You can see them on the screen. I have share screen
there's
and
5.
end. That's all I got. Green and red.
There's 5 buttons. Everybody should look down for 2 Mississippis, and then look back up and be like, I got nothing. What are you looking at for 8 minutes straight?
Well, look, he eventually got it, so he was looking at something.
No, but no one
I'm
ever.
saying something. I'm saying something that you guys are not seeing. I got diagrams and schematics.
No,
and
you
stuff.
don't. We all got the same, Pabon. But I'm doing the same thing because I was at a meeting with Dr. Phillips, and I'm looking down. I'm just looking at nothing. I'm looking at 2 buttons, and I'm looking back and forth, and one of them's clicked, and I'm like, I got nothing, but I'm still looking.
Well, they do it.
What am I looking
Okay,
at?
they do it wrong. It's the same thing that I complain about with TikTok. TikTok, when you start TikTok, this is welcome back to Old Man Rant. When you start TikTok, it just starts with the audio. So it's like some guy booty dancing, and I'm in bed with my wife trying to.
loud.
Yeah, and it's like, and I'm like, God damn it, TikTok, stop. Same thing with the stupid Zoom. When you admit the person in, like, it should, like, it should say like audio connected, then like video connected.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. It just throws them in there like immediately. Like you don't know when it's connecting, when it's not connecting.
Yeah.
Then it shows you video first, and then like maybe a minute later the audio will connect, depending on how good your internet is.
Well, first you gotta look at it for 8 minutes,
Right.
and just look at the same 3 buttons back and forth, and then
If
I
this
got
is
nothing.
the future, and if my wallet goes fully digital, I'm effed. If this is where we're going,
Yeah,
I'm
that's where
effed.
we're
Oh,
going.
digital.
Oh, digital. I
my
lost
dig-
my digital wallet. Dog bit it.
I got a big old George Costanza digital wallet. So, I put so much garbage in there.
You should see all the. I got an old business card NFTs in there.
Oh yeah.
I got an old John the Alarm Guy NFT business card.
Oh,
in there.
I got so many dodgy ones. So, sorry, Pabon, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's the audio quality? Does it sound like a transformer?
It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not good.
Maybe the
It's-
worst I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's down there. It's down there.
It sounds
for sure.
like you might as well just be talking into your phone instead of some expensive ass mic and some Willy Wonka's toy room or whatever. Yeah,
You sound like Bumblebee's stomach gurgling. I don't know what's happening.
So, Pabon, I noticed, and I instantly got mad when I saw it.
Baby Yoda?
Yes, but you have a toy room like Butler.
Those are not toys.
And
You're
like-
already off to a bad start. Those are not toys.
Well, they're not toys. Well, they're not business.
Welcome back to
They're not
toys.
business.
I know, I'm like, Pabon, you got a business room, I see. What am I supposed to describe it as?
What if toys are his business?
Well,
They kind of are.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's-
his art is based on those.
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
things.
saying.
Well, it's not.
Look, I'm Team Pabon all day long.
Hold on.
I'm not Team Grumpy Old Man.
An art room, it's an easel, it's a whole loft.
Oh, you want him to be like Da Vinci? He's in the rafters.
There's a bunch of overspray of
Or
paint.
Michelangelo, rather,
there-
not Da Vinci.
There's a bunch of drop cloths everywhere. That's not this. This is a toy room with a shield. How else are you supposed to describe it? Anyway, how is your toy room, Pabon?
How dare you, man? How dare you? You want me to be dead inside like
No.
you? I'm in touch with my inner child, Tom.
Okay, now the technology gods are smiling on you. 'Cause I can't write stuff that good. It's like you do this whole rant about this thing, and then he's like, how dare you?
Bumblebee.
Your Bumblebee's butthole.
All right, sorry. So
Your transformer name is Bumblehole.
So, Pabon, I have a question for you about how an artist thinks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
Did you? Did I have to cut that out?
No, I didn't
Alright.
curse. I stopped myself. I mean, this guy over here.
I didn't even have this question 1 second ago. So, my son Tommy, I think I've told you about this. I think he has an artist brain, and I'm trying to look at certain things that are the way he thinks about things, and I'm like, and try to utilize that for his future, right? So it's like, for instance, I'll give you an example. My son Tommy, he can give you instructions about how to draw anything that you can think of, and it's crazy. Like it's one of the only
Why
times.
isn't that on our TikTok?
That's pretty dope.
Your
But-
son teaches you how to draw?
He's
We
I'll
don't have time for
TikTok.
that.
Well, it's a long process of like.
Tom hates
Well,
drawing.
that's why it's funny.
So
He
Edit it
also
down.
just called it Tic Tac.
So
Oh
and
my god.
I thought this was him. He saw some YouTube thing and he remembered how. But like I tested him. I tried to stump him and he still did it. And he'll tell me like, "Hey, pick anything and I'll teach you how to
I
draw
like
it."
that.
And I picked a penguin, right? I'm like, penguin, because I thought that was like so obscure or whatever. And he's like, all right, step number 1, draw up and around. And then I follow his instruction.
Yeah.
And he literally meticulously tells me step by step and in like a 24-step process how to draw a penguin. And then it's a penguin standing with a scarf and then a hat. Like, you know, it's like he's standing.
Yes.
And I'm like, that is a crazy talent.
He's good.
So, no, it's not a good penguin. Like, it's a kid-drawn penguin. It's not nothing
It's
that
better
impressive.
than we could draw off our dome, I guess.
But what I'm trying to key into, or at least like understand how his brain works, so I could try to help him focus that towards something that would help him in the future.
I like this.
Is like, all right, that's some sort of skill that your brain has that you have, that you can give someone instruction and you can visualize something before you actually draw it. Because I couldn't do that for someone, but Pabon, is that something that you can do in other artists? Do you recognize that skill or that way the human brain works in like an artist form or whatever?
No, I can't even do what your son does, man. That's beyond my level of skill.
No,
I really.
Why do we do it video conference, Pabon? We were so good over the phone.
We was phoning with Pabon, and that's the original name.
That was videoing with Shitty Owen. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Real bad. It's real bad. It's just not good. There's no other way to say it.
Delay. I know you wanted to show off your toy room, Pabon. It's all about the toy room.
All about the toys.
Look how many shields I have.
Where does he get his wonderful toys? I don't know, some Batman. quote or something.
So anyway, Pabon, is that how your brain works too?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I'm big on references, and it's tough for me to just pull something out of thin air like that. So it's pretty impressive. How old is Tommy?
He's 35. Lives at home. And,
very intellectually stunted.
He spends a lot of time in his bedroom smoking cigarettes. It's weird.
From Christine in the chat.
We don't let him smoke in the living room, but his room is yellow crazy.
He's
Oh my
killed
God.
lots of his pets.
Christine in the chat has a great question. Is Tommy talented, or does Tom just need instructions like a 5-year-old to get things done?
Well, both. If he can get Tom to follow instructions, he's talented.
That's, you know what? Points for that.
Solved it.
Yeah.
Solved it.
It's just something that I like to, understand about how his brain works, because that's like Max can't do that. I don't know. I couldn't do that. And I found
Is
it
he an
interesting.
organized kid? Is he a step-by-step kind of kid? Does he like the process of things? Like if he had a list, if you
follows
gave,
instructions.
Yeah, if you gave him like 3 things, you do 1, 2, and then 3. Would he just do it letter of the law?
He likes to cut corners like his old man. So, like he's got a bad, like he's still
So it's
like
a little of both.
he likes to cut corners and like he likes if you
Cut enough corners, you get a circle.
in every one of his homework, it was like write how to get to 9 in 3 different math equations. Like,
Okay.
And then the first one is the laziest 0 plus 9. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
all right.
he always does the lazy, but technically it's right.
Yeah.
But it's the lazy way.
It's also a good one to remember, too.
1 plus 8. Like he
Yeah.
does like the easy, cutting corners. Anyway. Pabon, let's talk about the unfortunate Voltron shirt available at Sunshine State Threads.
I still can't say that. I don't know how you do it. Also, have you seen the line of they're almost like I don't know if it's karate inspired or samurai inspired, or I want to be respectful when I'm talking, but it's like Star Wars combined with like can you talk a little bit about that, Pabon?
Yeah. I wanted to combine. I wanted to do something a little different. So it's Star Wars ships, kind of reimagined in like a traditional Japanese samurai way, like that stuff that you'd see woodblock prints on rice paper, that sort of feel.
Yeah,
so you got a TIE fighter with like a katana blade.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm doing
he
a
makes
series of those.
He makes like the ship almost the take on the form of the samurai or the ninja or the martial arts displayed with different.
It's like Japanese
It's beautiful.
art
You just gotta see
infused
it.
with Star
I've never
Wars.
seen anything like it. You just got to check it out. I put it on my page. I think I shared it. You could check that out.
You did.
And then
Thank you, man.
also the unfortunate Voltron shirt that is at Sunshine State Threads.
Yes, and they're literally on the rack, so you can walk in. It's
Get your
attached.
size and go.
It's attached to West End Trading Company, so it's literally go have a drink at West End, pop into Sunshine State, and buy some unfortunate Voltron. Helps
You can buy it
Pabon.
online too.
Yep, you can buy it online. And we're gonna do more of these now. Pabon, I have seen your art. I feel bad, Pabon, because there's so many emails and stuff. Like Pabon will send me like, "Hey, like check this out." I need to respond to Pabon with a.
Yes.
That's why
you need to respond.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good.
All right. Write that down.
Respond down.
All
right, you're done for the day. Go home.
With a thumbs up or something to say I like this.
So when he writes you an email, rather than emailing him back, take a picture of yourself giving a thumbs up and then email that back to him.
Then I'll have Tommy draw it.
Yes.
And then I'll email
Oh,
it.
no, Tommy can show or step by step teach you how to draw a thumbs up.
Yeah, that back convoluted a long way. Sorry, Pabon, I don't respond as much as I should. I just like I see. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, and then I move on.
But he thinks email's audible, so he's like, that's awesome! He yells at his computer, and he's like, I think it went through. Sand!
Busy guy. I don't take it personally.
Okay, good. I'd like to do business with people that don't take things personally that I do to them.
Yeah, that's good. Write that down too. If you do business with us, just don't take it personally. That's our rule.
Jesus Christ.
That's our rule.
When we screw you over,
It's not personal.
be cool.
Yeah, with Tom and
I'd be
Dinner,
like, you mean it's business? Like, no.
it's only business until we screw you over. Then we don't know what it is. But it's not us screwing you over. It's just unfortunate. It's just an accident.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. It's manslaughter.
Yeah,
like,
it's manslaughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look, we know.
I didn't. My intent wasn't to screw
We
you
know
over.
you invested in our podcast company, and we know you expected to get results, but it didn't happen, and it was unfortunate. And we made some mistakes. Were made.
Yeah, it was beyond our control.
And we were reckless.
Like, no, it's under your control.
No, we had no control over it.
It's beyond our control.
We controlled our message. We didn't know when nobody was going to like your product. It's your fault. We victim blame.
Yeah.
You know, it's your product that's bad, not us talking about your product that's bad.
If we screwed you over, it's your fault.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
the
somehow-
first place, if you invest in our company, the first place, if it goes wrong, the first place you need to look is in the mirror, bub. And I put the bub on there. I spell it out too, B-U-B. Bub.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pabon.
That's okay.
So,
Oh, you hurt his feelings again.
so I have some ideas. Let's do a Marvel comic book inspired Tom and Dan shirt.
Okay.
Have we ever done? Now, I'm not talking about.
You just want to get sued by everybody.
I'm Spider
Yeah,
Dan, and webs come out of my butt.
Oh man.
All right. I'm the Hulk, but
You're the Hulk.
But I-
gambled his pants off.
but I couldn't bust out of my shirt, only my pants.
Oh, all right.
But you have tiny little stick
You're
legs.
Porky Pig Hulk.
Yeah, well, that's opposite. I'm opposite Hulk, and when I turn into
The Hulk, your legs get really big. Your top half just stays exactly the same. He's big muscle.
You're more
legs.
like a Skips from regular show.
No, he's more like a Skips Western wear. Okay, so it's the Hulk wearing nothing but Skips Western wear is what we're going for, right?
Okay, yeah, but with no pants.
No pants. Cowboy Hulk has no pants with Spider-Man on his shoulder with a web coming out, you know.
Don't waste your time.
It'll be the greatest seller.
I feel like
Okay, the two greatest things we could sell right now would either be that shirt or an NFT of the feedback audio that is coming through his microphone right now. I can hear it.
it gets loud. It's like in
It's getting mad that you're talking about
It hurt me. It's like, turn me
live.
up. Oh, yeah. It's Feedback Man. Oh, yeah. Turn me up. It hurt me. It hurt me. There it goes. There it goes. All right. We got to get out of here.
How do computers work? They're like, you know what? What's better than silence? We'll turn on the feedback. So there's no silence.
All right. You good?
So hold on.
All right. What are we done here? What are we doing? Get it together.
We gotta go to break.
Gotta go to break.
Check out artandericpabon.com. Check out
Um,
Sunshine State Threads, their Shopify as well as in Sanford, their shop. And check out Semantics. Eric Pabon was on Semantics this week.
There it
Indeed.
is. There it is.
Oh, thank God.
There we got it.
We didn't have feedback on that. You did it.
We did it.
Thank God.
Pabon, you did it. We couldn't have done it without you.
I'm using the wrong terminology here, but thankfully our stewardess walked up to the front of the plane and pulled up.
yeah.
And I knew I said stewardess.
Yeah.
I knew I did.
Daniel tried to lock me out of the bathroom and rocketed us into the mountains, but
I did try.
yeah, we kept the spare key because we knew. We were like, don't let him lock himself in there.
Exactly.
Pabon, what's your website and your social?
Hey, artoferic.pabon.com. You can find everything there, from prints to commissions to incredible amounts of mic feedback, guys. Thank you.
No.
Oh, you hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
Let's hear from the feedback. Hold on, be quiet. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
All right, Pabon, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
Okay,
Better
bye.
see him.
Oh, he's mad.
Oh,
Mad Pabon.
Yeah.
You think he's just smashing all his toys? God, get!
It's what?
He
You
messaged-
idiot! You're an
He
idiot!
messaged me in the middle and said, "Should I just call in?" I'm
You're
like,
not
"No,
Captain
we're
America."
riding this through now."
You're Captain Crap Erica! You're nothing! He's tearing it all down.
His wife's like, Eric!
What are you doing in there? Are you okay? I'm fine! Fine. Just totally fine. Give me some trash bags and a washcloth.
He just throws all his toys
All
away.
of it. That day, he changes his life.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it's nothing but Fox News. And just he gets into the
Oh,
grit, QSM me. He's reading it all. He's mad.
It's all in the documents.
And then he sits in his truck and he works out all the time. He sits in his truck and then he'll just rant about how things are terrible. And he makes small videos he puts on TikTok.
All right. That was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
all right.
You like that? You like it?
You like that?
God damn it. All right. Let's take a break, reset, and we'll be back. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler is here. Fish tank is looking great, man.
That is, yeah.
It got
yeah.
cloudy for like one day, but I think that was the new stuff we put in there. We have this new fish now, Sam. I don't know if you've seen him. We need to name him. But he's see-through, and he eats rocks, and then he
Yes.
poops the rocks at his gills on the side. It's almost like he cleans the fish gunk off of the rocks, and that's all he does all day. And then he digs himself into like a little burrow, and he sleeps in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's awesome.
he's eating all the algae and doo-doo on the bottom.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what he's getting off the rocks.
Like with most things in my life, it's here. I just don't know much about it.
Yeah.
You know, like with anything, like this entire business is chugging down the tracks, but I have a very loose grasp of what's even happening here.
Yeah. That's how
Everything feels new to me.
Yeah. Well, like the how the computers.
I don't
work,
even know
how
if this is on.
technology.
I think
don't
it
know.
is.
Yeah. I don't know how this is all distributed.
I mean, like I check the thing and then I'm like, it needs water, and then you guys put water in it. But really, I just go over and I look at the tank and
I come here, I talk into the black sponge,
the sponge.
and then I go to the mailbox, and then there's
Monies.
checks in there.
Yeah.
Then I go
and then I tell this guy to put the money, or I'm assuming it's money,
it's a
put the papers into
the vault.
the building.
Yeah.
So I can get out
And then I can use my plastic
to buy the
tiny thing
to buy
whatever
liquids that make me kick my dog around.
Yeah. It all
The dog kickers.
Do we have an email?
Yeah, we do.
First email.
Okay. This is entitled "Idea to Make More Money." Hey, y'all.
Not interested. Next email.
I was listening to the show where Tom said he is all ears on ways to make more money. I'm sure he's thought of everything already, but I figured I'd throw in my wine-induced thought process. Just as a side note, I'm a BDM, and I ran into your show randomly when I saw you guys on a top comedy podcast list a long time ago, and the first show I ever listened to was the K2 show, and it was truly awful, but I continued to listen and haven't stopped since.
Oh my God.
I've never been to Orlando, and that kind of ties into my next point. Ultimately, what you guys have is a great product, the show itself. ACT is funnier than ever, and you guys are all over it with merch and branding.
Thank you.
The next evolution has to be growth, and by that I mean into different markets. Syndication. Now, I know
Perfect.
part of your lore
Syndication
is
is
having
the future.
the local mindset, but I don't think you have to sacrifice that to make a successful show in different markets. The best part is you can recycle 12 of your 12 joke topics on totally new listeners and clue them in on the inside jokes about Orlando as you go. It'll be a transition at first, definitely an unpopular one at the beginning, but like I said, you've already have a great product, and as you grow, so will your BDMs, advertising, etc. I'm not a businessman, but that sounds like more money. Now, this ultimately is selling out and kind of reversing everything that you've built over the past few years, but the true long con is that once you've built up a sizable base, you get out of radio and start a podcast network. Tom and Dan and Friends. Basically, you take the cast of characters you have established on the show, Sam, Ross, Tuttle, maybe more, and their podcasts, and you create a network where you continue to provide their content, advertising, and merch. You can even bring on new talent, and you basically curate yourselves for your listeners. I digress. I apologize that this was entirely too long, but it just may work, you know? BDM for life.
Perfect idea. Sign that guy.
So, say you had a jam company, and I'll just call it Dan's Jams, and it's like
That name's a little clunky.
you know, Danny's Jammies.
I'd like Jams by Dan.
Jams by Dan.
Yeah.
And you're selling your jams at the local farmer's market, and you're like,
Can't sell them there yet.
you're like, I have a business idea for this guy, Danny. He doesn't realize what he needs to do, right?
I go by Dan.
And so I come to you, and I'm like, hey, Dan, what is it, Jams, Dan?
It's Jams by Dan.
Jams by Dan. This is what you need to do. I'm no businessman, but you need
Are
to...
you telling me this at my tent while you're buying some?
Yeah,
of my
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You need to get all these jams.
Yeah.
And then you need to sell them in all the Walmarts
Okay.
across the entire country,
Hold
because there's
on.
a lot of those, right?
Hold on. Does anybody have a piece of paper I can write this down?
And then you'll be rich because you'll be selling all the jams everywhere. And then
Hold on. How do you spell Walmart?
do that.
Okay.
I'm the businessman. Take that idea, run with it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll
What's
take
your
my
name, sir?
compensation.
Oh, it disappeared. It was
just
an apparition.
You explained to us that we need to get our show a bunch of listeners everywhere.
Globally.
Globally.
Global
then-
syndication.
And then that's where the money's is.
Global
because-
syndication is the internet.
Yeah.
We're already on
it's
the internet.
Well, no, I prefer the term global syndication.
Okay.
No S, sir. Well, no.
Well,
You're a nice
mean,
guy. I
wait a
appreciate
minute.
it.
You're
Like,
saying
It's a
no,
medium
but
for
I mean, it's
life.
still a good idea.
well, that's of course. That's how everything, all media
But
works.
I think
You want
that's
the most listeners, the most viewers
Well, he
possible.
didn't-
But how do you do? How to get that done?
But he emailed us
is
for us to tell him that that's a good idea, and sir, that's a great idea, and I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Well, distributing more of your product to more people to get more customers is how all business works. Like that's how every
Yeah, but he
that's
thought of
the-
it first.
That's the basis of all business.
Right.
It's just sell your product to more people. Yes, I know that. It's how to get that done is
Right.
the hard, insanely
Yeah.
hard part.
Bad.
It's like, how do you advertise our show to people that don't know about it? All right. Well, there's a lot of different avenues to do that. Some of them cost money. Some of
Brock
them
in our Twitch chat room chiming in. He says, "Just make more money, you blanking idiot."
Yeah.
See, now I like
Yeah.
that.
I'll give him a prize.
Thank you, Brock.
give
What do you
this-
want, a straw hat?
Yeah, the one straw hat for Brock.
Next email, please.
Okay, this says, you know on Instagram.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
I don't ever want to stop him when he's on one of these rants.
No,
he'll
no, no,
kabong
no.
me.
I want to apologize if I came off like
You
a
should,
D-head
you
to
should.
this listener who's trying to help
Well,
us.
I just thought it was a really good idea.
I'm just trying to make fun of it.
Okay.
Because,
No, I know.
of course, that's what we need to do. But
I-
how do you do that?
I've never heard you say anything
But it's
about
like,
syndication.
oh, I'm mad now.
You haven't said
Now
one
he's
word about
mad. Now he's
syndication.
mad.
What? And this, I'm mad
Brock, I'm
at
taking your straw hat away.
Jimmy D. Colbert, or whatever his middle name is.
Wait, Jimmy? What, you mean Jim Colbert? What is
Yeah,
his
I'm
middle
at
name
Timothy
is...
Earl.
No,
Colbert.
it's Perkins.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
right.
Perkins.
God, the only thing I remember are the things I'm not supposed to remember.
When I used to have to write a bit every day, I'd wander around, ask, because I'm too lazy. I want people to do my job for me.
I'd just stay silent. You'd be like, you got any ideas? I'd be like, nope.
So I'd ask Jimmy some days, and a lot of days he helped me. Some days he'd be like, tell a funny story about your wife. All right.
Super generic.
I'd be like, there you go.
Thanks a lot,
tell
buddy.
a really funny stand-up style story with a good punchline at the end.
I may have been worse than that and told you one time, just do the thing.
It's like if a stand-up comedian's like, how do I, like, what joke should I tell in this special or whatever? Like,
You gotta make them laugh.
You got to tell really funny stories with good punchlines to run with that.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to scream.
I know you were.
But I saved it.
He got a big
Yeah.
and then suppressed it.
But of
feel
course,
it.
That's not good for your heart.
Yeah, it really
that
is.
doesn't help any. That's exactly what you have to do. We understand that the hard part is like, how do we do that? The execution. What are the stories? Give me some sort of, give me the punchline or what, the topic or whatever. Like, that's the hard part.
Born this way, Lady Gaga.
Anyway, sorry. Next thing.
This says, you know how on Instagram they give you suggestions who to follow based on who you follow? Look at these 2 suggestions. One is obvious, the other not so much. And one of them is a picture of your wife, Dan, Andrea. But it says, I don't know why the picture is Andrea, and it says, since you here we go. Since you follow Crystal Van, you might like Andrea Dennis.
All right.
And then the other one says, since you follow Tom Van, you might like The Rock.
Oh, that's great.
One is not like the other.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
So
where do you stand on The Rock? You like The Rock?
I like The Rock.
I like The Rock too.
Okay.
I've heard he's a good person and a hard worker.
Has anybody is ABC carrying his tequila? They can get it, right?
I'm sure they will if they don't already.
I want to try it.
So
I'm a tequila man, and I would dance with some of The Rock's tequila.
So it's all just an algorithm, and I wonder how it linked me with The Rock. Is it just because maybe...
That's a great question.
Well, Brock BDM says that you're just special needs The Rock.
All right, yeah. No. Even special needs Rock is rich.
Yeah,
Ripped.
that's true.
Yeah, and ripped.
Yeah.
I'm special needs Rock's cousin.
Yeah, you're like
Your Pebble.
Yeah.
Is that the only term for a small rock we can think of?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stone cold.
I was going to say boulder, but
That's too big.
yeah, too big.
So this happened to me yesterday, and I've never seen it, but tell me if it's happened to you. I tried to log on to my Facebook through my old computer, like the Crystal's old computer, the big one that I got,
Your gateway.
No, it's a Apple, but anyway, it's just old as hell.
Yeah.
But I logged on to Facebook. I haven't ever logged on to my Facebook for this, and I forgot my password.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered the wrong password, and then it had me reset my password.
Yes.
And then I did that, and then it's like, oh, you have to go through a verification process now.
Yeah.
And then it said, I'm like, all right. Then I hit next, and then it's like, here are a list of 5 of your friends. You have to send them a message, and then ask them what the code is. And then they have to send you the code.
Never seen that.
I've never seen that. I think you just got hacked,
yeah,
bro.
you just got scammed. That's why you got all that porno on your calendar.
Yep.
Man, you went through with it, dude? They don't ask
No,
do
I
that.
didn't. I didn't.
Okay.
They don't do that kind of thing.
No.
And it was you. It was Tiffany Martin. It was Crystal.
You sent them spam, bro.
You know,
I didn't do anything.
And we've been getting hammered. You know, we got one of our main accounts that I use for like businessy type things. Yes, on Friday after the Friday Free Show, had a catastrophic where they called me, and they're like, "You're getting hit." Like the guy on the phone was like, you need to change your password now," and he's like, "I'm going to send you some stuff in your email to verify that it is actually me because I understand that this is weird." And then he shot me an email, and it was straight up from the Big G from the Googs. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, we can chat now. And then I just had to go through like a little test, and then they changed everything for me.
Is it just because they had a Google, the signature? Like, I'm Jim from Google.
No, what, this thing? No, he called me. He had
he
my phone number, which is very odd.
Was it from a call center? And then he had an Indian
And
accent?
he did. He did.
Oh.
And he said his name was like Jonathan. Yeah.
People were screaming in the background.
Totally fine. Totally.
Did you give him all the information?
Well, no, I didn't give him all of our stuff. I scanned every document, so he had real copies of it.
Okay, the
I
original.
like to be thorough. The first thing I did is I took. Do you remember when we thought we were paying our lease to a scam artist because we couldn't track down the man who owns this building? Do you remember that?
Yeah. There's been a lot of those.
Yeah. Would you like we have? Have we ever paid for something and not received it? Have we ever?
Oh,
been
yeah. Absolutely. There would be no way of knowing, though.
I like that. That's better.
It's all so disorganized that it's impossible to tell what's real and what's not.
It's like it's like torrent site for disorganization.
Yeah. I scanned the bank account, and I don't even recognize half of the charges of where they're coming from.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
credit
sneak
card
charges now. I put
Yeah.
everything through iTunes. So when you see those massive $2,000, $3,000 iTunes charges, that's me buying, like car parts.
I look at it. I'm like,
Motorcycle
that's
parts.
for the music for the show.
Yeah,
I don't
I buy a lot of
understand.
music, yeah.
I don't understand
All
the show.
the music.
Yeah. So when I see iTunes, I'm like, legitimate, approved.
All of it is. too. I funnel my credit cards through iTunes.
Yeah. It's massive. It's like $16,000 so far.
More than that.
I mean, just for this month.
Yeah. My Apple card, they gave me like $50,000 credit line.
Oh, spend all of that.
I am.
Oh my God.
I am. It's already maxed out.
Buy a supercharged jet ski. That's all I can think of.
tried. They limit what you can. They start calling. The bank will start calling if you start buying things that are too big. Like I went in there to buy. Like I wanted to buy one of those small electric cars. Those Mokes. Have you seen those?
No.
It looks like a dune buggy. And it's like a little electric car that you charge. It goes like 100 miles on a charge. You'll see them around here sometimes.
Is it like a golf cart?
Yeah, but it's like a fancier British golf cart. It was very popular. I think it was a gas-powered vehicle. It's called like a Moke, M-O-K-E, I think.
And now it's electric and...
yeah, I'll show you. I tried to buy one of these with my Apple card.
If someone crashed into you, how...
There it is.
Like, you think it's...
One of those.
Yeah,
one of those.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to buy that for the show.
That's like
That is dope.
And
basically a cooler looking golf cart.
Yeah, it's like $20,000, and I put it on the Apple card, and they called me and said you can't do that, and I was like, okay.
You can't? Why not?
I don't know.
You should have screamed and be like, "It's my money."
Money is money.
How cool is that, dude?
Yeah. You gave me $50,000. I want to spend
that's
half
what
of
I said.
it.
That's what I said. You gave me.
Then why'd you give me anything?
Yeah, like don't even. I was like, here, take the card back. I don't even want it now.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, if I can't buy whatever I want.
Yeah, I was like, get out of
What's
here.
it worth?
I want this Moke.
Yeah. Let's buy that.
It's got a electric or gas. You can pick your color, and then it has no roof or sides. It's literally just like a low-profile electric Jeep.
And then,
this is what you need, dude. It's $19,000. So
because I could just drive to work on that.
Yes, you can.
To work and back, and then I keep my truck for towing the boat or whatever. I don't know. It just sits there with gets pollen on it.
Well,
that's the problem.
You wait till the tires go flat.
Yeah.
You pump them up to pull the boat.
Yeah, but that's. I think if I got this and I love driving this so much, I'd see my truck every day, and then I'd be mad that it's just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
But that's a small price to pay for the moke.
Well, then you try to pull your boat with the Moke because you're drunk and you burn the electric engine out.
Yeah.
And then your truck's tires are flat, so you can't even go anywhere.
Or I'm on qualified captain, and the boat rocketing backwards into the water, and the moke being dragged into with it, and then someone's screaming world.
There is a guy in Baldwin that has one of these, and I've seen one and actually touched it, and it's really cool, dude.
It looks very well made.
Yeah, it's like sturdy, and it looks like it's made for you to drive around with nothing but girls in bikini tops. That's what it's made for, right?
Can you make it to the beach and back on one charge? What's the?
Okay, this one will go. It's 40 miles, so the answer is no. But you could drive to the beach and then charge it while you're beaching.
Ooh, 40 miles is close. It'd be running. You'd be
we
coasting
can get the
in.
gas-powered one and just I don't think this electric thing's gonna catch on anyway.
I'm
gas for life. Give me the good old Mopar,
dude. How quiet the electric engines are in golf carts. It's so much nicer not having the
noise pollution.
You know, like there's something, especially when you're, have a.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Is it Moke or Mook?
It looks like Moke.
I think it's Moke.
Or is it Moke?
It could be Moke. From British classic to Caribbean icon, Moke has become a symbol of fun in the sun. Introducing Moke America, a 20th century collectible car reinvented with a 21st century green-friendly electric power, available exclusively in the USA.
Now, is it one of those things you have to buy into some sort of crowd fund, and then they have to they make them and you get the first one, or can I buy this and be delivered?
It's out right now. Yeah, you have it delivered. They said they set it up in 14 days.
So 14 days, and I get it in my front yard.
Moking it up.
And then you just plug it into a 110 outlet?
Yeah,
or is
you
it
plug it into a regular outlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it takes 8 hours to charge, I think. That's the bad part.
It's just, man, if you lived by
It's
the
for
beach.
a dumb old man. And you drive it around, you
yeah.
put the stuffed animals with the bungee cord, right?
Yeah,
All the girls come over like, hey, looking for my sugar mama. You know, like, remember that guy? He had the sign on him.
Dude, you should just get this to drive around Baldwin.
I want it.
We should get it for the show. And
Two people standing in my way. My wife and my Apple Card. They won't let me do it.
We could buy it for the show, wrap it, and then have a show vehicle.
It's got
Just like the
roll
grift
bar,
truck.
weatherproof
You guys
seats.
think this is going to be great, and then
Stereo.
I like how I've already forgot about the.
yeah, it's sitting in my garage. Let's do something with
Well,
it.
you get rid of it. It's your problem.
All right, you guys told me you wanted to use it for a promotion.
Oh, we did.
Well, we
but
wanted-
it's so much work.
Yeah, like the promotions are only good in my brain. Once we start putting the
Yeah.
pieces together, it's like this bingo we're doing at the Land Cruise.
The ideas.
God damn it.
We like
Damn bingo.
We get excited
Hate
about
it.
the ideas, but the execution's a hard work part.
Yeah, like we need a team of people that can execute these things for us without us having to do it.
Like get us syndicated and start a podcast.
Our team
network?
is too small. Our team's too small.
Yeah. We need,
We need a bigger team.
yeah, so that we can just wander in here and then
Tell other people what to do.
come up
Yes.
with cockamamie, and then you guys are like, these guys are idiots. You start, I mean, for sure, you start stealing
Then
from
we're
us.
like,
and-
Oh,
then it
yeah,
becomes
that's
a
already
whole
happened.
MC
yeah,
Hammer
I know.
scenario.
And then
The next thing you know, I'm in the middle of Orlando, downtown, appearing at some church, trying to do all my hits to recoup some money. I'm singing all the Weird Job Wednesday theme songs at a church, trying to get a little bit of money to get a megabus back to wherever I live now. I don't know. I'm living in Dan Cummins' guest house in Idaho. Idaho.
I'm doing stand up at these
Bonkers.
bonkers, and
gonna
it's
be
bad,
bad.
but it's bad. And then I try
You got
to
to catch a ride with D-Rug.
Yeah,
God,
it's
you're
me.
out there. Where you at? Oh, Porky's? Which Porky's? Porky's Comedy Club or Porky's Barbecue? Porky's Comedy Club. Oh, God. You're out there.
Yeah. I might. Yeah. Then I'm doing these sets for.
There's a guy, he's over there playing pool while you're trying to get your jokes out.
I'm selling my. I get whatever's left in the.
I got a flash drive
in
of
the
a show
store.
I did. Everybody's like,
I'm selling
F your flash drive.
just at the storage unit, whatever's in there. I'm selling old T-shirts. Then I go to my apartment.
Oh, it's sad.
Oh man.
And then you're like, oh, should I move to LA? I'm not good enough.
All right. Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The fish are healthy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Let's do it.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by StreamlineFlorida.com. Get that refinance while the rates are low and consolidate some of your debt into one payment. Use the equity of your house. You probably have some. Just talk to Brian and his team. He'll tell you over the phone whether it makes the best business decision or not.
And it's very easy. More than
yeah.
anything, it'll save you a lot of time and effort. Very, very easy thing to do. I've done it twice.
And do it with Streamline because you'll get the better customer service and you'll get the guarantee that what they're telling you is going to happen.
Indeed.
And that's what they specialize. Ask any BDM.
StreamlineFlorida.com.
Yep. So on the line with us for a Weird Job, we have Tom Kehoe, and he's going to tell us about bonsai trees,
This is
which
awesome.
we've talked about and we don't understand. How you doing, Tom?
Doing all right. How about yourselves?
Doing good.
Real good, man. Hey, thanks so much for the time. We really do appreciate it. We have been interested in bonsai trees for a minute. because it is like Tom, you hit the nail on the head. It is something that I don't think we understand, nor do I think we have the capacity to understand. That's why we're hooking up with you.
Yeah, I also think it's the most famous tree that people don't understand the art or the care for, like, or anything about them. They just know about the bonsai tree, and that's it. So, Tom, how'd you get into bonsai? Tell us about your background and how you got into this.
Well, I started doing martial arts when I was a kid.
Okay.
And like kids often do, I kind of went crazy for everything to do with Asia. And somebody gave me a book on bonsai when I was about 16. And I looked at the pictures and said, that's really cool. I want to do that. But then discovered that I had a great aptitude for killing little trees in pots. And so I killed trees in pots for about 15 years. And when we moved to Florida, we ended up hooking up with a fellow named James J. Smith. He lived down in Vero Beach, and he was a world famous bonsai artist. And he was more than happy to spread his knowledge around. And I studied with him for about 25 years, I think.
Wow.
That is awesome.
And ultimately ended up helping Jim take care of some of his trees, because bonsai has this odd feature to it. Your trees are going to outlive you. You know, we may live to be 80 or 90 years. Your trees can live to be hundreds of years old.
Really?
Yeah. So about 12 years ago, Jim arranged to give most of his private collection to Heathcote Botanical Garden. And they built this beautiful gallery with these big stone stands. And a couple of years ago, when I cycled out of the corporate world, I became the curator of the collection down there. It's the largest public display of bonsai in the United States.
Oh my God.
So, Tom, just to rewind a little bit and to give us a better understanding, and I hear how the way you pronounce bonsai is different, and so
or like a bonsai.
Am I saying it like a redneck? Like it's like you know what I'm saying? Bonsai. Like is it? Are you supposed to pronounce it bonsai?
Yes, bonsai means tree in a pot. Bonsai means 10,000 years. It's a cheer you hear frequently at soccer games in Japan.
Ah, okay. So that's that's the information. Bonsai.
Bonsai. I even like the way it says better. Yeah, cool.
So that's
right.
First, we learned the way to pronounce it correctly, and second, the actual tree itself, because I got into plants in the pandemic, kind of like a lot of people did,
time,
you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we joke around about it, but you really did. I mean, you got crazy about it.
What I realized is in the plant community, it is like a piece of art, and having a very nice plant and taking care of it and making it as beautiful as possible, or as big as its potential as possible, is like a piece of, and then you display it like a piece of art because it takes time, and it's actually. It shows, it's kind of like a sculpture. This thing took years to make it look like it is. So with the bonsai,
there you go.
Where do you start? Tell us about the actual like botany, about the tree itself, and all that.
So bonsai is actually a fairly popular endeavor in the United States, and Florida is one of the 2 or 3 biggest states for it in the country. Bonsai is a term that simply means tree in a pot. It comes from the Chinese pensai, which also means tree in a pot. And there are lots and lots of different kinds of species that you can use to make bonsai. The trick of it is you have to use species that work well in your particular climate. So the trees that they use up in the Northeast where I grew up are entirely different than the tropical trees we use down here.
Sure.
Really?
We use lots of ficus. We have bougainvillea. People love bougainvillea because they have flowers all over them.
Yeah.
We have jasmines of different kinds, chifleras, a wide variety of tropical plants.
And so when you start one of these, how do you begin the process of, I guess, sculpting or kind of curating the tree to make it do what you would like for it to do?
Yeah, and Tom,
that's a really good question.
Yeah, exactly.
There's actually a number of different ways that you can do it. You know, originally, what you did is you went out into the wild and you looked around for plants that have been naturally dwarfed by weather. And you'd carefully dig them out and you'd put them in a pot and train them from there.
Sure.
The problem is, it's really hard to find those anymore. In Japan, there's a kind of a juniper called a Shimpaku juniper, which is just a superb plant for doing bonsai with. And it's almost extinct in the wild because it's been dug up so much for bonsai. Wow. So one technique that we do down here is we'll look around for a plant growing in somebody's yard that has a really promising base on it. And you may see a tree that's 20 feet tall and say, boy, that base is a lot of promise, and literally cut off the top 18 feet of the tree and put it in a growing pot, and we regrow an entirely new tree on top of a trunk that's now 2 feet tall. So that's a fairly common method. And you'll see folks going out and digging up cypress in the wild and digging up Simpson stoppers, and even in urban environments, you'll see people digging up things like bougainvilleas. If you ever come home from work at the end of the day and there's a big hole in your front yard where your bougainvillea used to be, it means you've been robbed by a bonsai artist.
Really?
There you go.
So now it's all coming together because, Tom, and I think a lot of people are ignorant to bonsai and how, because before I talked to you, when I thought of bonsai, I thought of this stereotypical, tiny looking tree, which I guess you like more of a Northwest, on someone's desk, and them slowly trimming the leaves to curate it to the way they want to
manicure it.
But I thought that was bonsai. I didn't understand that any tree in a pot could be bonsai, and there's popular ones here and around the world depending on climates. So do you find that most people think of that stereotypical tree that's on someone's desk, the bonsai tree? I think people thought that's what it was called. They didn't know that's bonsai just meant a tree in a pot.
That is a common misconception, actually. It's interesting because the gallery is down in Fort Pierce, Florida, and we have lots of people who live down there who have never been to Heathcote Botanical Garden and seen the collection. And they walk in, and instead of seeing, these cute little trees that you can pick up and put in the palm of your hand, we have trees that take 6 strong men to move. Yesterday, we were working on a donated specimen it's a forest bonsai. So there are 13 trees in this one pot, and the tallest of those trees is over 4 feet tall. So it's really a massive mammoth creation.
Yeah, that's big.
Now, Tom, so is the art to it to keep the tree healthy living in a pot? Because as the amateur, plant guy that I am, I know that I constantly have to repot my plants because they get rooted, and then once they get rooted, which means basically the whole pot is all roots and
root ball,
then I have to give it new soil. But there is a way to feed the roots just through plant food and stuff like that, and that's a whole process too. So is that all part of it? Is like, how do you care for a rooted plant?
Absolutely. The thing to realize is that a bonsai is not growing in a whole lot of soil. And in most cases, it's not actually growing in soil at all. It's growing in some sort of artificial substrate. One of the things that we have to contend on here in Florida is we get these incredible thunderstorms. And while most of the tropicals we use really like lots of water, they don't like having wet feet. So we have to have really good drainage in the pot, or the roots will rot and the plant will rot.
Yes.
Yep.
So we have to take care of all of the tree's needs. We give it lots of water. We have an automatic sprinkling system we can use to control the amount of water it gets in a given day. We have a time-release fertilizer so that every time the sprinklers go on, it gets a little bit of nourishment. And like I said, we use potting mixtures that are very, very free-flowing. The net result is they actually grow like mad. Most people think they grow very, very slowly. The trunks grow slowly, but the foliage, if you're taking good care of the tree, the foliage grows like crazy. And so you constantly trim it back because you're trying to reduce the length of the inner nodes. the smaller the inner nodes are, the denser the foliage is, and the smaller the leaves get.
You taught me
And that's
that. Yeah, Tom taught me that just doing amateur.
Yeah, like propagation and cutting
Yeah.
where the nodes are, and then knowing where the new growth will sprout from. Like it's a science, because every tree will do the same thing if you do it. So
100%.
So that's all part of bonsai.
Absolutely. There's a science to it. That's the horticultural part, and there's an art to it. You know, bonsai is a living art. It's the only kind of sculpture where your material has as much to say about your final product as you do. Because you can say to yourself, I want to grow out a particular limb here, or I want it to lean in this direction, or I want to grow branches on the other side. And if the tree doesn't want to do that, you're out of luck.
I like that. Yeah.
So, Tom,
That's cool.
can we talk a little bit about like the most expensive bonsai or the most rare, or is it a direct correlation with the amount of time someone has been curating their bonsai? Like for instance, if someone has a bougainvillea that they've been curating for 35 years, obviously how they trained it to grow and the foliage have something to do with it, but also the length of time, does that make it more valuable?
Absolutely. Assuming that you know what you're doing with the tree. Now, I know that Jim had sold at least one of his trees for about $1,000. That was 10 years ago or so. And the value of all of those trees would have gone up substantially since then. We have the logo tree for our exhibit is actually, it's not a tree, it's a succulent plant called Portulacaria afra. But that specimen is almost 100 years old.
Oh my God.
And it's been in that pot for 60 years.
So a lot of these
yeah.
things are like, it's almost like, I mean, it's art. I mean, there's an element of like even like antique collecting at some point. I could
Sure.
see where these type of plants make their way through generations, especially in Asian culture. I would imagine that you could have a family bonsai that would be sort of like as precious with it is in culturally. Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see where you would pass that on to your son or daughter. That would mean a lot, right?
Absolutely. The problem that you get in the United States is you don't get a whole lot of intergenerational bonsai artists. In Japan, you do. In China, you do. In Taiwan, you do. Back during the bicentennial, Japanese family called the Yamaki family, they donated a magnificent, I think it's a black pine, to the people of the United States, and it's in the National Collection up at the Smithsonian. That tree was 275 years in a pot when they donated
God.
it. It's like someone in every generation of that family, when they were born, they were like knighted, and it was like, you will take care of the trees. And that family owned a bonsai nursery. And I think that the family had fewer people who were really interested in doing it. The really stunning part about that is the Yamaki family is from Hiroshima, and the bonsai that they donated survived the bombing of Hiroshima.
Wow.
Oh
my
stars!
goodness.
My goodness, that is.
It's almost like a family Bible that every generation wrote in, and then and you're like, this thing has seen the generations of this thing has gone through.
But if you,
I mean, at some point it has been
Yeah.
exposed to
Radiation.
radiation from a nuclear bomb.
I
It's lived
and no
in all
offense
history.
no offense to the family Bible, but the one step further that this thing is alive.
Yeah.
Which is it's blowing my mind to think that 275 years of history within a living
Now,
thing.
Tom, how long will that actually live? I mean, it has an endpoint, right? I mean, it has it can only live so long, or how does that work?
It really depends on the species. Pines can certainly live for hundreds of years. The bristlecone pine that grows out in the deserts of California, that can live 4,000 or 5,000 years. That's a long time for a tree. But if you look at like baobabs in Africa, they become massive. They get trunks that are 50 or 60 feet across, and they live literally for thousands of years. Same thing with redwoods. There's a ficus. In India, they call it a banyan tree. Banyan actually means marketplace. And these big banyan ficus grow so dense that they hold outdoor markets under them, because if the rain comes down, the tree shields them from the rain. There's one over there that's been identified as covering more than 5 acres. One single tree.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy.
I can't even.
They keep growing outward.
Yeah, I can't even think of the scope of that. That's insane.
So, is there any particular like bonsai tree that like maybe
Like Hope Diamond of bonsai trees?
Well, yeah, like some like the longest ever cared for bonsai
we
tree
might
that-
actually have it in the collection.
Yeah, like and does it like art, does it become invaluable, like or on the open market would it go for millions because from a rich collectors?
In Asia, they have certainly sold trees for well over $1 million. A few years back, there was a magnificent white pine. It's maybe 4 feet long in a cascade style. But it wasn't actually a finished bonsai. It wasn't refined. But it had so much promise that they sold that raw tree for $1 million.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
You don't have the culture over here to have those kinds of prices. And it makes sense because most people over here don't know how to care for them.
Right.
And even spending $500-600 on a tree that really moves you, maybe you do that for a painting in your house. But you don't have to water the painting, and if you ignore the painting for a week, it's not going to die on you. And while certainly, like I have outside clients where I take care of their trees for them, but that's a relatively rare thing.
I was going to ask you that, Tom. I was going to ask you if you ever got called in because there was a family heirloom bonsai that started to die or got close to dying, and they called a professional in like you to try to revive it. How much can you save a bonsai if?
Where's the TV show about that too?
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
I'm sure it could look like it's dead, but you could bring it back if it still has some roots that are working.
Do you have to deal with any of that?
The tree whisperer.
Yeah.
There's two things. I've had people bring me bonsai that are brown and crunchy, and they say, "What can you do with this?" And I say, "Well, we can use it for firewood, because once it's brown and crunchy, there's just not much you can do with it. It's dead." And that's all the more true of junipers and pines. Think about your Christmas tree. You chop down your Christmas tree, you put it in your living room, and the needles are green and look healthy for 10 days, right? So they can be very deceptive that way, certain species. On the other hand, we have a misting system in one of our shade houses. And so you can put a tree under there that's in a lot of trouble, and every 20 minutes it gets a cool puff of mist on it. And that really helps bring the trees back. We just recovered a very, very nice spiky olive that way. And we lost one little branch, but the whole tree is back.
Oh, that's great.
And once a month on Wednesdays, last Wednesday of the month, we have an open invitation. Come bring us your tree. We'll work on it with you and show you what you're doing wrong, and
that's cool.
Generally help you out with it.
So, and I guess the last question, you mentioned bougainvillea, and it dawned on me because I see, and you see in nurseries all the time, that someone would, and I'm guessing they bonsai trained the bougainvillea to, like, it twists around, and then the top of it is just a ball of
like a
foliage
poof, yeah.
with flowers. So it's like a bougainvillea in a pot, and they twisted it around. I trained it to twist around, and then a ball at the end. Is all that done by hand? Because you could buy one at a nursery for relatively inexpensive. It's like, they're kind of expensive, but not for the amount of time it seemingly took to
twist
make
it up,
this.
yeah.
Well, a couple of things. In terms of actual bonsai is a formal art, and there are formal styles of bonsai, and there are criteria for grading how well you do that style. So there's a formal upright, which has a straight trunk. There's an informal upright where the trunk goes back and forth. There's a cascade where the trunk is essentially parallel to the ground, or that's a semi-cascade. A cascade, actually, the trunk goes below the level of the pot, so you have to have it on a tall stand. The kind of things you're talking about, they're not really bonsai. They're just decorative trees. But the thing about bougainvillea is they're very easy to work with. They grow very fast. And you really don't want to put them in your yard, because if you put them in your yard, they're going to take over.
I made that mistake.
Yeah, so did my mom. They're everywhere.
I had a 15-foot wide thorn bush that my sons were they're terrified of. Every time they got near it, the thorns, like Temple of Doom in there, and then I had to rip it out with a bulldozer. I was like, ah! Sorry, I did that.
So, but bougainvillea are hardy enough that you can take a chainsaw and pretty much dig it out with a chainsaw, put it in a pot, and regrow it. The question is, does it have a nice root base on it? With bonsai, you always work from the things that you can't change, like the root base or the trunk line, and work to the things that you can change. I mean, you can regrow all the foliage, a new apex, all that kind of stuff. That just takes time.
Huh.
It's crazy interesting, man.
Well, Tom, it's been fascinating talking to you about this, and
the chat room is blowing up. They want to hear more from you. If you would have us, we'd love to check in with you and see what you've been working on again at a future date.
Because I love plants. I'd love to get into if I want to get into entry level bonsai. Tom, what should I buy? Can I buy it online?
Question,
Can I buy it from you in some way?
Okay, so the best thing to do, you guys are up in Orlando, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are a couple of Orlando nurseries up by you, and they've got a wide range of material. One of the best things to start out with is this. It's actually a succulent called Portulacaria afra, and you can make them look very beautiful because the pads will form in a very reliable fashion. You know, you're not going to be cursing at it and saying, divide here, I need that to go. The plant will do that on its own. And you can get a $25 plant or a $30 plant and put it in a big grow pot for a year, and you'll have that's substantial and impressive. And I mean, that's a great way to do it. The great thing about it is if you forget to water it for a week or 2 weeks, it's not going to die on you.
Gotcha. Easy maintenance.
Yeah, that's what we need
to start with. Well, Tom, where can people find more information about what you do and and all that?
Heathcote Botanical Gardens has a big website. There's also Bonsai Societies of Florida. They're kind of the administrative group for about 28 different bonsai clubs in the state of Florida. So either of those would be treasure trove of information.
There you go.
Awesome. Well,
thank
Tom,
you so much for the time, man. We know you're busy, and we know that if you ever bounce around here, if you're ever in town, I know sometimes you bring some stuff maybe to Epcot, and and if you're ever around here, we'd love to have you in. And thanks again. We hope to talk to you again real soon.
My pleasure. And we could actually do this down from the garden and show you some of the trees we're talking about.
Awesome. Yeah. I like that.
Let's set that up, man. So take care. Tell everybody there we said hey, and thanks again.
Thanks for the boost, guys. We appreciate it.
You got
Thanks,
it, man.
Tom.
Anytime. What a nice,
Fascinating.
wonderful bonsai, man.
Yeah.
Bonsai. Am I saying it right? Bonsai.
Bonsai. I think
I like that.
I know we went long. We'll figure it
Well,
out.
I didn't want to bail.
No, it's fine.
And everybody in the chat room, look, we got to go with the good content. And everybody in the chat room's like, this guy rules. And when do you get to talk to a Florida bonsai man?
Also, didn't know any of that. Like, I thought a bonsai tree was the stereotypical tree. I'm like, that's what it was.
So you thought like me.
The Americanized version.
That bougainvillea, my mom's had, her whole house is bougainvillea.
A thorn flower bush.
I thought bonsai was that's the plant.
Yeah. Type of.
Give me one of those, please.
Yeah, one bonsai.
Yeah, give me one bonsai. That's what I want. Nope.
Cool.
Totally
I like
wrong,
that.
Dan.
That's what I don't know is how to feed a rooted plant. I guess it's kind of easy, but there's schedules, and that's the art of it. This guy's been studying for 25 years. I'm like, how much can you learn?
With like a master, with a bonsai master.
Yeah.
It's not that he just spent his time doing bonsai. It's that he did it with a guy who had already been doing it for 35 years. And then he worked with a guy for 25 years.
This guy is way cooler than Seth.
Well, he's calm.
I don't know if I use the word cool or
It kind of goes back to the whole bikepacking thing. It's like, is it really cool?
Exactly.
Put your bonsai in your bike pack and puff it.
Bye.
Welcome back to a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. I don't want to say that anymore.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
When we start the show, when we come out, I'm just like, hi.
Yeah. There's no need for an intro. You know.
Although
I did get a tweet from someone saying they just started listening to A Corporate Time, and I was like, wow. I've never, I was just surprised. I was like, you just now started? But I'm just so used to talking to BDMs that I've listened to you for 25 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, but I just now to start. It's like, really? Now?
I'll tell you the people
Now's
I
the
don't
time.
like, and there's a lot of these people. If you're
Start
one of
at
those,
the end.
If you're one of those listeners that goes in and goes out, I don't like you.
You're dead to us.
You're dead to me.
Oh, okay.
I like if you have to be for me day one, ride or die.
That's right.
Yeah, never move the show.
In honor of DMX, Rough Riders,
Yep.
Ho!
All
That's
right.
my barking thing.
So one of our sponsors that's from your hometown.
I thought you were going to say it's from Europe, and I was going to say, ooh, fancy.
Ooh la la.
It's a fancy
Yeah.
Europe.
Uncle
Hello.
Dijon's
Oh.
Cafe.
I like to think of DeLand as the Europe of Florida.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I like to think.
Yeah. It's very exotic.
It's quaint, but also exploding with popularity.
It's as mild to wild, is what they say.
yeah.
Mild to
Just-
wild.
yeah. Fair,
As nasty as they want to be, DeLand.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Good. How are things at the world famous Cafe Da Vinci in downtown DeLand?
Well, they are getting back to normal
Yes.
on a good note. They're doing great. We're making moves. Live music has been back for a while. I think I just sent this morning Travis our calendar for the rest of the month, so you guys can take a look at it.
Yeah, man. You got good stuff. And you guys always book, it's funny how DeLand's, the Cafe Da Vinci there, hidden gem, the things that you guys are able to do there and able to book there far surpass the Cafe Da Vinci that I grew up with. Well,
that's true.
It was it's still historical. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
I've had more beers there than any bar in DeLand, but I will say that it is so much nicer now that you guys have kind of built it out, the infrastructure, the back line, the bars, the ability to get a drink.
The stage.
It's the place to party. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are back up and running because, we were a pretty sad state of affairs for a bit.
We sure were, weren't we?
Yeah.
But
Now,
everything's doing great.
Now, Dan, Dan brings up a good point. My Dan. Sorry.
I knew you'd have to say that. I've been waiting for you to call me your Dan.
So there are certain venues that I've seen, and I don't know the business of this, but I see venues that are able to get really high quality, popular acts and bands and stuff that go through them. And I'm always like, man, that's a good get. That's a pretty big band. You know what I'm saying? And Cafe Da Vinci's always done that. Is that all relationship based? Like you just know the right tour managers and stuff, and you developed over years, and they've hooked you up with certain bands, tour managers, because they're all know each other. It's like, have you just built that over time, and then it probably helps that Cafe Da Vinci is so popular.
It's known,
it's got a namesake in
Certainly
Florida.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt, that's for sure. My partner here, Mark Dam, he's been doing our booking since day one, and he's been booking for his other club, Beachside Tavern in New Smyrna, for, 13 years, 14 years at this point. And we also use a production company for some of the other bigger bands. Dieterman Productions brings us a lot of shows. And Mark and I have we started it out called 3-Piece Thursdays, and we've just started doing our, live music now Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we're started doing our own ticketed shows again. So like tomorrow, is today Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow night we have the Super Villains as our first ticketed show back in a while. And we did Zoso a couple of months ago, a tribute to Led Zeppelin. So but to answer your question, yes. Mark has built a wonderful rapport with a lot of great booking agents over the years, and we have now bands that reach out to us instead of us reaching out to them, which is great.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So once you get on the map, you're there,
Yeah, well, it just, when I see you guys and everybody who comes through Cafe Da Vinci, it always is like high quality, popular band.
Well, the chat room just said what I was going to say. Zoso is a great band. I mean, if you're looking for a Led Zeppelin kind of a tip of the hat to Zepp, those guys have been doing it for a minute, and they're an excellent band. So you guys, is it weird to be able to, can you take any size band? Or because I've noticed that, the stage outside, that can support a pretty decent sized band, right? What's the biggest show you think you guys have ever done there?
Yeah, we have some pretty big bands. I think there was one band at one time that I think they had a horn section.
Yeah.
And they had there might have been 12 or 13 people on that stage. Now, it was crowded, don't get me wrong. I think the stage dimensions are about 18 by 25, roughly, give or take a few feet. There's a drum riser in the middle, so that eats up a lot of room. But we can get some pretty good bands. We can definitely fit pretty much anybody up there.
I love it because you guys are able to keep it intimate, too. It's like the stage is big enough for a really good band. So you'll get to book the things like, it's good for the performer and for the actual patron.
Yeah. Right there.
Because you can lose the intimacy of, like you and I've done a couple of events there. Even the stuff that we, if we were there with In-Ears, I think was the last time I was. Actually, I was there just hanging out in DeLand one time, sneaking through, not even anybody knowing about it, just seeing old high school friends.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is that there is like you guys are able to still get that intimate feel of like a small club, but you have the back line to provide for a bigger band. Supervillains up. We know those guys. I'm sure they will play a little drinking tonight. If they don't, make sure they play them. Insist.
Oh, they will.
Insist.
Yeah. Dan, let me ask you another business-related question, but this has to deal with like bands and their writers. Okay, so all bands have writers, and some are more complicated than others. But when it comes to like food and beverage, right? Because I'm dealing with this a little bit currently, where I'm looking at a writer, and it's a particular type of seltzer water that this band wants, right? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I could just get any seltzer water.
Then what's the point of them making the rider?
Well, I think it's in the spirit of what I want. Because it's just like rules to me. Like laws and rules are always in the spirit.
So it's like if I ask for laser tag for Christmas and my dad gets me the wrong laser tag.
Yeah.
It's still in the spirit of Christmas? Is that what you're saying?
No. As long as it's somehow a laser tag, the actual brand.
I mean, you still
can be
hit
anything.
the target. It's still a Mexican fizzy water. It's just not the one they wanted.
Or just any seltzer water, like a LaCroix. It could be anything.
It could be anything, a Publix brand.
And so I wanted to ask you.
Crackling Good, Winn-Dixie brand.
Does that make the band mad if exactly the brand isn't right, or if the spirit of what they asked for is there, then they're like, okay, that's fine. Good enough.
Close enough.
Well,
I'm trying to always hit it close enough.
Every band is different. That being said, the majority of the time when we get a hospitality rider, what we'll do is we will literally just draw a line through things that we're just not going to provide for you no matter what.
No.
And so,
the aggressive move
we just
there.
draw a line through it, or we exit out and say, you're not going to get this, and they never complain. That being said, if you want to be hospitable, you try to get everything that they ask for, and if you can't get a specific brand, just providing a sparkling water would be the right thing to do.
I like the idea of Dan saying, we get a lot of those riders, and there's a technique that we employ here to take care of those, where I take it, I print out the rider, and then I wipe my butt with it. It's like, that's what I heard. That's what it sounded like, right?
Yeah, I just draw a line through everything that's not right in front of me. Because if I have to go to Publix,
I'm not moving
I get what you're saying. I didn't know that drawing a line through it was even an option.
Oh my God.
You just have to remember that those riders are requests. They're not demands, they're requests.
Wait a minute. Can I draw the line through my employees' contracts and their salaries? I start knocking off zeros.
Everything.
Well, you can.
When Duke sends me a bill, I'm just going to draw a line through it. No, thank you.
Send it back there. Sorry, I don't see it that way.
I do not want to pay this money. Thank you. Also, Dan, throughout your years of dealing with bands, has there ever been, and I know that this is super sad because DMX is in the hospital, and it looks like he's in bad shape because of a heart attack caused by who knows. But
there's a lot going on there, yeah.
But anyway, there's a famous story about him just sitting in his limo I think it was like the MTV Music Awards or something or whatever, and then
There's a lot of them.
and then like he just refused to get out. Like they were just like,
Oh, it's nice in there.
like he was like, "Come on, you gotta perform." They're like, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not getting out. I'm not doing it." And then he was like, "I think it just left. It just never happened." You know, like
Yeah.
it was one of those
I've
scenarios.
always wanted to do that until the point where the cops are trying to pull me out and I just go limp body like a toddler
They
does.
call that the airline passenger.
Yeah, or Snooki being carried off a beach.
So, in all your years of doing this, and not to name names or anything, have you ever had a band like either refuse to perform or just never show up? Like everything was promoted and just no
call,
show,
no show?
man.
no call, no show. Is that?
We've never had a band no show, and we've never had a band refuse to outright perform. I will say though, and I will name a name, and it's not a big deal. We were in a little bit of guff with the city when this happened. There had been a few noise complaints, and they were being extra diligent to make sure we were following the rules.
Sure.
It happened to be on the same night that Bone Thugs and Harmony was playing here,
I see.
and they kept demanding that we turn it up, and I was like, I either have to keep it at this volume or I have to shut the show down because they're out there with noise meters, and they got so mad at me when their set was finished. They refused to play an encore and walked off the stage, and I'm sure they will never come back.
Oh.
It was just luck of the draw that night that it happened to be their show. What had happened, and I'll tell you the full story, a month earlier, maybe 3 weeks earlier, the Dead Kennedys had played here, and it was super duper loud, and somebody wrote a letter to the mayor.
Oh.
And that's what started the whole thing.
Get it
And
together,
it happened to be
Deland.
the night that Bone Thugs was playing that they decided to drive around various neighborhoods with their noise meter and listen to the sound. So they were pretty mad at me, and they'll probably never come
So
back.
Jello Biafra canceled Bone Thugs in DeLand. And
He doesn't seem
In
like
a
it anymore.
roundabout sort of
And
way.
he didn't even know he did it. And they were like, and we're not going to do an encore. And we're not going to do an encore. What you going to do when DeLand cops are outside?
Oh God, that was an interesting like 2-3 month period, because what happened was the Reverend Horton Heat came with Jello Biafra
Yeah.
as a special guest.
Yeah, because they
he doesn't
performed
perform with
together.
the Dead
Yeah.
Kennedys.
Yeah, they performed
Right.
together, sure.
So they came together as a special guest, and 3 weeks later, the Dead Kennedys minus Jello Biafra played, and they were just super duper loud. And then another 3 weeks went by, and Bone Thugs and Harmony played, and it was they got the short end of the stick, unfortunately.
Dan, listen, I could talk to you all day about Bone Thugs and Harmony pissing off the land police department.
The parody songs opportunities are endless.
Oh, yeah. I'll get to writing.
Well, Dan, how can people get tickets to the show and find out all the information? I'm sure so following you guys on social media is the best way to find out all the different show information, right?
For sure, yeah. And most of our ticketed shows, again, are Thursdays, and we usually do everything on Eventbrite. But, for this, today, really what I want to talk about before I go is about the Craft Beer Festival. It always seems to be the time that I make it in here. So,
Yes.
Nice.
This Saturday on the 10th is the 12th annual DeLand Craft Beer Festival. It is mildly scaled back due to some city COVID restrictions.
Sure.
So there won't be as many beer vendors this year, but there's going to be plenty nonetheless. As you know, every year it benefits the Main Street DeLand Association, and this will be, if you can believe this, their first fundraiser since COVID started over a year ago.
Oh, my God.
So because they do all of their fundraising really as event-based, and so this is their first fundraiser to happen since COVID, again, a year ago. So it's going to be on Georgia Avenue, right in front of Cafe Da Vinci and Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company. We also have a new brewery on the street, Hiderhead Brewing Company, at the opposite end.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be right there. Yeah, it's a wee taste of the Highlands, if you will.
Very cool, man.
So from 1 to 4 o'clock, tickets are going to be $35. And there is also a VIP option, which gets you in an hour early ahead of everybody else, so you can get a little tasty taste without the crowds. That is a $60 ticket, and that includes a swag bag, a behind-the-scenes tour of Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company with their brewmaster, and again, you get to get in an hour early and drink before everybody
That's
else.
worth the trip to the Brewmaster. If you've never been around
Right?
Persimmon Hollow, that's a great little spot. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Very, very cool.
We're going to have live music in the courtyard from 1 to 5 with a Brown Bag Brass Band. Say that 5 times fast. The weather is 100% chance of sunshine, which is great. And you can get tickets for Saturday's event on either Eventbrite or via the Main Street DeLand website.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We appreciate you guys sponsoring the show.
Indeed.
Cafe Da Vinci's
Let's
is
do
sponsor.
it again soon. Drop by there, show some BDM and Tom and Dan love. When you do, go by there and get yourself a beer.
Yep. Dan, we'll
Thanks,
talk
guys.
to you. See you later.
See you, man.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I ran out of gas. It got weird at the end. That was my fault. It was like the weird. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird when you're,
Yeah.
you know, you're doing the phones and the things.
Well, yeah. Well, didn't you say it? I was like, I had to just say something.
And then I was like, I gotta say something. It's like, well, who's gonna end this? Who's ending it? Boom thugs. They can't. They can't do it.
Stupid bone thugs. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dom,
Dumb.
which is a mixture of Tom and Dan.
Damn. And
Oh, man, today's been rough.
And I am Tam, which is a mixture of Tom, Dan, and Dam.
Hit the buttons.
And I'm Sutler.
I'm staring at the buttons.
Futler.
Sutler.
Oh, Sutler.
Sam and Butler. Sutler.
Oh. I just imagined Butler with your boobs. I don't know why. It's what I imagined.
Hairy.
And I imagine him there. I was like,
Yeah.
guys, his implants are too big. It was like they're stretched, they're tight, like cannonballs under there. All right. This guy want to get some money from you. I figure you're loopy
Okay.
today. I might as well
All
launch
right.
this at you and see if I can make our listeners happy.
Hey, BDM here. I don't know if you can hear me really well. I'm using my car audio and I'm driving home from work.
Sounds
I'm listening to
crystal
the
clear.
OG show, and you were saying that Tom was saying that I'll give $100 to anyone that can prove that they needed their 7-Eleven receipt. And I need to keep my 7-Eleven receipt because for work, I drive a company truck. So whenever I get gas, I need to keep the receipt so they can log it. So, Tom, if you're the man that you are, that you say you are,
Oh,
you
call
know,
out.
be a man of your word. Give me $100. Later.
Here's why I'm not going to pay.
Not a man of his word.
No,
Not
I
the
am.
man that he thinks he
Because if you would have listened to that segment, now I'm not exactly sure what I said,
Right.
Well,
So
hold
you
on.
didn't listen to the
is.
segment.
You should say that
Yeah.
at the end and not
Yeah.
at the beginning.
but
Don't open with that.
what I meant,
Yeah,
It's
do
all
what I
intent.
mean.
yes,
It is
Yeah.
all intent.
My intent and the bet, what the spirit of the bet was, show me a reason why you need a receipt for all the garbage inside stuff. Like, yes, you need a gas receipt to show your business when you're on a business trip or whatever for fuel expenses. That makes sense. Of course, that exists.
But if you buy a taquito,
That's what I mean. It's the spirit of why do I need a receipt
Why?
for a donut and coffee or any of the
Well,
garbage?
there are some places that will reimburse you for you get a per diem, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not what this gentleman said. He said
No,
gas.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
yeah,
make
yeah.
you lose. Yeah, this guy did
Yeah.
say gas, and
Yeah.
so
So and
I mean, should you have to tighten up your bets a little bit though? And now
Never.
you're leaving them wide open like a
No.
bag of leaves. It's wide open.
I'll always leave them open. We're open, baby. But yeah, I should. I'll send you a straw hat.
Oh, my
That's
God.
enough proof for
well,
one
you have
straw
no
hat.
idea who it was. So that's good.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
never
you
know.
want a free straw hat, but you cannot collect by calling. You have to write us a handwritten letter.
Even
and
if-
and you have to
Postmail, yeah.
send us a box with postage on it to send the hat back to you. Look, if you will go through the trouble of sending me a ginormous like refrigerator box in the mail with the postage to send it back to you filled with hundreds of like shirts, I'll send you everything we got. But none of you will do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, sir. I mean the stupid stuff. Yeah, there's no reason for a receipt for all the taquitos and garbage.
Okay,
and
this one's kind of
buying a White Claw.
Yeah.
Like, I need a receipt to prove this.
This one's kind of funny, so I'll go to this one.
It's Mike B from the On Our Radio Show. It's Mike B. Dude, I've never seen Mike B before. Actually, no, I take that back. I saw him on Facebook and like, dude, whoa, that mustache is, that's something else, man. And I'm leaving Walmart right now. And as I walk out with my car, I look over and I see somebody. Well, first of all, I hear Tom and Dan like playing from a speaker, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a BDM around here. And I look over, and it's fucking Mike B standing in the shade. I didn't say hi to him or anything because that fucking mustache, dude, that thing is something else in real life. That I feel like I could smell that thing. It is gnarly, man. Mike B, you need to shave that thing off. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I could hear Tom and Dan. I guess he's listening to you guys live, and he's just standing. He's just standing in front of Walmart.
And he took a picture and he sent it to me. You want to see it?
Was
Yes,
it Mike
I
B?
do wanna
Yeah,
see
it is.
Bye.
It's Mike B. It's
Let's see it. Let's
So
see
hold on.
it.
Mike B is just standing in front
Yes,
of Walmart,
currently.
He could have been on his break or something.
listening to
Our show.
on his phone on the
Maybe
speaker.
he's promoting us.
Why is he doing like not even
I
through
hope
the
it's
earbuds?
not Mike B.
No, it's 100% Mike B.
Is that him?
Oh yeah, that's him.
Why is he standing in the shadows?
He's
of
waiting for the Uber to come pick him up.
the catacombs of
Okay, here,
Walmart.
I'm going over to it. All right, there he is. He's just. I'll go wide.
yeah.
I'll go wide. There he is.
Who gets a cart for that little
Now-
amount of items?
That's true. That's
he's
a lot.
also appears to be wearing tall, big I fought in Afghanistan boots. He's got big Afghanistan boots on, khakis.
Yeah, my God,
He's got
white.
ginormous highway patrol mirrored sunglasses
yeah.
on, and he's pushing. He's just standing.
There's two
with
bags in that cart. That's
I
it.
know you don't need a cart, man.
Mike
There he
B,
is.
Mike B looks like he was a worm that transformed
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, it's Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, there he is.
He looks like a worm. A worm. I can't even say it.
He looks like a worm.
He looks like a worm.
You are becoming Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, look at him over there. He's becoming a worm. I can't even say it. No respect. A worm. You're becoming Rodney Danger Worm. You're now Rodney Danger Worm. That's your new name. What is happening to you today?
God damn.
What do we even do on the show? You guys want to talk about Bitcoin? What do you want to talk about?
What Walmart is that?
The big one. The big one where bad things happen. Do you know-
Okay, well,
I
guess I'll ask
I
him
didn't
then.
want to say.
That's
That's all of them, I
Isn't
feel
that-
like.
no,
That didn't narrow nothing
isn't
down.
that the one where the cop got killed?
I have no idea.
I believe so.
How do you know that?
Because just the outside, I can look at it like I've saw it on the news
They
a
all look
million
the
times.
same.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Well, it's got a big trash bush in front of it. That kind of trash bush only exists in
okay, here we'll do
one
another
area,
one.
I
There's your Mike B sighting.
Okay.
Is this what Mike B wanted? Like he wanted
Yes,
to
Be
he
bullied
does.
by random
Yeah,
listeners
like-
and find him in front of Walmart and say
Yeah.
he stinks.
this being a character on our show has not financially helped them at all.
No.
like
No.
zero.
No, it's hurt him.
Yeah, but I think it's hurt him. Yeah,
It's
you're
hurt
right.
him.
And all he gets is other strangers taking random pictures of
Yeah,
him.
while he hides in the catacombs.
Yeah, then making fun of the way he looks. That's what you wanted? That's what you wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he just
don't-
wants the attention.
you
It's
don't-
fine.
does he
That,
like it?
but it's not even good.
Sam says he's totally okay with
Yeah.
it.
Who wants it? It's like, yeah. I'm like, who
He's
wants
just happy people know his name.
Okay,
Is
I
that-
think
is
I
that
think
right?
there's some truth to that. I can tie another
What
voicemail
value
into
is
it.
that?
Guess who called in and
Might be.
and no, reared his head.
Uh-oh.
Never thought I'd hear from this guy.
This message is brought to you by Kid Feldman.
Oh.
I would totally give you another
Sean.
$250 if it meant to keep T&D Media in business.
There's a man. There's a man
that the mummy noise?
Yeah, there's a mummy noise. There's a man that looks exactly like a cross between Corey Feldman and Kid Rock. I call him Kid Feldman. He is a founder, and he just said that, hey, just chiming in. I'm still listening, and I will give you $250. I'll double my investment just to do it again. So hats off to you, Kid Feldman. You get a straw hat.
His
Send me
voice-
a box.
Do you think it's psychological when we said Kid Feldman? His voice sounds like Corey
Lower
Feldman.
Corey Feldman,
Yes,
it does.
It does.
It
like,
does.
Grizzly Feldman.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
but
like Grizzly Feldman.
if you listen to the inflection of his voice, it's
This message is brought to you by Kid Feldman. I would totally give you another $250 if it meant to keep T&D.
Nah, we're
not
probably
so much the
projecting
second
it.
time.
Yeah.
The first
Don't
time.
listen to it too many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. No.
If I listen to it the next time, I'm gonna
Ooh,
think.
Ghost
ah.
of Manute Bowl says he sounds like Lee. He kind of does.
I don't remember what.
Yeah.
Who?
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Why are you being mean to the future of rock and roll?
You guys are the meanest. I stay quiet.
I'm not.
I don't
mean
do
at
nothing.
all. Here's
You
another.
fired him.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. You guys forced me to.
Oh my- yeah, I mean, if it hadn't
I
been-
don't have any power
Look,
here.
If it hadn't been for me, that guy's still be here.
I would have just said.
Somebody's got to do something.
I just sat here and
honestly.
ignored
Oh
it.
my God.
I won't do anything until you force me
I
to.
know you won't. I mean, there's
and I'll put it
force
off.
his hand.
I put it off for a year.
Under
Oh, man.
Under his desk, there's a salad that's been there for 2 weeks. He won't take it out. There's flies crazy under there.
Jesus.
I put it off since day 2. We're gonna get like, hold on, just wait.
Hold on.
Hello, Tom and Dan. So I'm thinking about who's the boss today. And I'm like, that's a weird concept of this handyman, whoever, and his daughter move into this lady's house where he's going to work, I guess, with her mom and son. And, you know, it's just kind of odd. I don't know if it would happen so much today, or if that show was to be created today, I think it'd be a little bit different. Then, you know, I'm thinking about Judith Light. And, like, is she good looking or not?
Is that the blonde mom, right? Judith Light?
I
The
don't
blonde?
know.
Yeah, she was attractive. That's a silly question. All the women on that show, most of the time, actresses are attractive guys.
Yes, it was the mom, yeah.
It's weird to say, oh, is she attractive? Well, of course she is. She's a working actress in Hollywood. That's silly.
The internet has killed all of this type of thing where you let strangers live in your house, or you pick up
You
strangers
did.
on the road.
You do.
Hitchhikers.
You do all of this.
Yeah, I do it because I'm not influenced by
You're not
the
one of the
stories of
sheeple,
the
I know.
internet. But the reason why the
He's
internet's
not
killed
one of
it
the sheeple and Q sent him.
is that 99.9% of the time, if you let someone live in your house, they will not kill you or rape you, or they may steal from you. That's I think a higher. But as far as kill or the worst possible scenario,
They won't rape you. They'll rape your house of
but
items.
it's not going to happen. But because it's happened one time and everybody on the internet saw it, never happen again because they'll be afraid of that thing. You see what I'm saying? I think that's
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
like, I
I
mean,
love
having a
misinformation,
roommate,
Tom.
but having a roommate is something that people. I have tons of friends that have roommates. I have tons of friends that have roommates where the roommate is just like a true roommate in the fact that they're nice enough and they come and go, but there's very little interaction other than they cohabitate. You know, like they're in the same home, which. I've never done that before. Well, college, but that's a dorm, and I don't count that.
I'm not talking roommate per se, but I'm talking there's a guy that that may do some work on your house or property, or like he's doing some sort of work for you, or you want him to do some work for you, and maybe it's long term, and doesn't have a place to stay, and you're like, well, why don't you stay in my extra room or pool house or garage, converted garage. You know what I'm saying? You could just live here and do the work. And then it was more of like a handshake, like, yeah, just stay, it's all fine. Like that used to happen, I feel like, back in the day a lot. Like vagrants, you used to have, like, put them up for the night. It's like the old
you
school.
put them in the barn.
The old school wandering, the guy wanders through your town and you show hospitality to him and you let him sleep in your house or whatever. I'm just saying those days are over because people are too paranoid now, and I think it's because of the story.
Well, we spun the yarn of people being murdered too many times, and the tall tale took over and gave people caution. Right?
If you see it and you see one story of it, it's just human psychology
Sure.
that you're like, that could happen to me. It's
Well,
a
it got-
lottery. It's everything
got
else.
perpetuated. Like even the old, like, we'll let you stay in the barn became don't sleep with the farmer's daughter, which then became a joke. Like all that stuff has become.
Yeah. Well, then it's become
like
this guy.
folklore.
This guy's gonna go into my house and sleep with my daughter,
Yeah,
or like this guy's
a
gonna kill
drifter
me.
with an erection who can't be stopped.
How many times, remember?
Have I stayed in the old man's barn with an erection? I don't know, 7, 8.
Well, remember when
times.
Uber first started, the paranoia was, I'm not going to get in a car with a stranger who'll kill me.
I never thought that.
People thought that.
I know, but I have weird ones. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
hey,
even
I'm
a
on this.
taxi driver is a stranger to you.
Yeah, but that was
that
already an
happens.
established tradition that people were comfortable with. You see what I'm saying? Like, and they just justify. You justify everything,
You
but
do.
it's not real.
You pick and choose your caution.
Being scared of murder, of someone murdering you, shouldn't be a fear. Unless you are, in some real bad neighborhood where lots of murders happen or something, what I'm saying? Or you're in
Right.
Afghanistan,
Right.
then you should actually be like, whoa, there's a higher chance of me
Yeah.
getting murdered. But like,
Gauge it.
you're a regular person living your life. No one's going to murder you. Now they can, but the likelihood is slim to zero. You shouldn't even worry about it.
No, I'm with you. We do have to take a break.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye.